So this is going to be a quick 15-minute reset for your pelvis, spine and rib cage. As we're keeping it quick, we're going to do a really fast body scan. I'd normally like to spend a little bit longer in the body scan because the power of this movement is actually in the awareness. It's of knowing where you start and knowing where you finish. It's an exercise for your brain and your nervous system to understand the level of tension in your body before you start and then the level of tension afterwards. So please don't skip the body scan, and if you have the time, do a longer one at the beginning and then a longer one at the end. So with your eyelids closed, just take a few nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Each exhale, just seeing if you can let go. So allowing your mind, your body and your breath to settle. As you allow the awareness to move into your body, I'd like you to start with the feet. Just notice your feet left and right. Is anything different? Is there anything different in the way that the feet have arranged themselves? Are you more aware of one foot than the other? Then moving up through your calves, your shins and into your knees. And just taking a moment here to notice the distance between the back of each knee and the floor. And as you do this, you're building up an awareness of how the legs have arranged each other, left and right. Then moving on up through your thighs and into your pelvis. And you just take a moment to notice the weight of each side of your pelvis into the earth. It might be that one side feels heavier, one side lighter. What do you feel in the front of your pelvis? So you might feel that more open on one side of your groin, one hip joint. How does that affect how the legs are? Then moving on up into your low back, can you sense the relationship between the low back and the floor? The waist and the floor? Do you feel you've got more space one side than the other? Is one side more relaxed into the earth? Coming on up into your rib cage. Noticing how each side of your rib cage meets the earth, left and right. Where's the contact, top, middle and bottom? Have you got any awareness of your shoulder blades and their position on your back body? Then just taking a moment to notice the length and the weight of each arm. And moving back up to the shoulders, can you notice the distance between the top of each shoulder and the floor? Is there a difference left and right? And just taking a moment to notice the length on either side of your neck. Is one side longer, one side shorter? Maybe your head's fallen to one side. So we're going to bend our knees, bringing our feet to the floor, hip distance apart. We're going to start off with some arch and curl. We're going to interlace the fingers. Going to bring the hands to the back of the head so the round part of your skull is resting in the hands. Just taking a moment here to notice how each elbow, each arm has arranged itself to the floor. So you might feel that one feels further lifted than the other, and one might be in contact with the earth. Can you draw a line to your shoulder blades so that you can just begin to understand how the relationship between the shoulder blades, your rib cage and your arms interacts? Then when you feel ready, we're going to roll forwards over the pelvis. So this is going to bring an arch into your low back. And can you allow your shoulder blades to squeeze in and down? Then you're going to flatten the back into the floor. You're going to gently squeeze your elbows into the side of the head. And as you do this, you'll sense your head become light. You're now going to lift your head off the floor into what seems to be a tiny sit-up. As you inhale, can you bring your head back down to the floor, allow the elbows to open out and move back in to the arch. Shoulder blades squeezing in and down. Are both shoulder blades moving? Does one want to move? The other one's a little bit sluggish. Just noticing that. Remember, this is all about awareness. You can't move what you can't feel. And you can't release what you can't feel. So this is making your brain aware of the way that your body moves, the way the body doesn't move. Inhaling, moving you into the arch, shoulder blades squeeze in and down. Exhaling, bringing the back down into the floor, squeezing the elbows into the side of the head and coming up into that tiny sit-up. Notice everything on the front of the body is contracted, everything on the back of the body is long. The inhale starts as you come back down. Moving into the arch, everything on the back body now is contracted and everything on the front body is long. Just allowing yourself to come out of that. Allow your arms to rest by your sides. Allow the legs to lengthen out. Take a nice deep breath in, deep breath out. And just take a moment to notice if anything's changed. So what are your feet doing now? Has anything changed in the way that the feet have arranged themselves? What's the length and the weight of each leg? How does each side of your pelvis now meet the earth? What do you feel in the back of the rib cage? What's happening in your shoulder blades? Has anything changed in your neck and your skull? Now when you feel ready, bending the knees once again, bringing the feet to the floor, hip distance apart. We're going to cross the left leg over the right so that you've got a hole in between the legs. You might not be able to see on the video, but my left foot is resting on the back of the right thigh. All I'd like you to do is see if you can move that left knee forwards. So you're going to allow the left knee to move forwards towards the front of the mat if you're on a mat. And then you're going to allow the left knee to draw in across the body towards the right shoulder. Notice my pelvis is staying on the floor at all times. Left knee drawing forwards. At the end of the movement, can you see if you can contract across your glutes? So we're working into the piriformis here. So we're going to try and contract the piriformis as the knee moves forwards. And then as the knee comes back across the body, you'll be lengthening the piriformis. Notice that your waist should be moving. So as the knee moves away, the side where the knee moves away, the left side in this case, the waist will be lengthening, the right side will be shortening. If you're finding difficulty in finding your piriformis and contracting into the glutes, can you make sure that you've released the low back into the floor as the knee moves away? So on the left side, the knee moves away. Make sure that the low back is released into the floor. When you bring the knee across the chest, the back will arch as that side of the body shortens. So as the side of the body lengthens, the back flattens into the floor. As the side of the body shortens, the back will just gently, it's not a big arch, just a gentle arch. Finding a way to come to a stop, allow your legs to lengthen out and just take a mini moment's awareness. So a moment to notice the difference between the side of the body that you've worked, the side of the body that you're yet to work. So we weren't just working into the piriformis there, we were moving all of the muscles around the pelvis, around your core and in your back. So just noticing how the left side of your pelvis now meets the earth. Any sense of space across the front of the pelvis on the left-hand side. What you can sense and feel in your left lower back, what's happening in the left rib cage. You may even find that although we were just moving the lower part of the body, that something's changed in your skull. What is it for you? This is your experience. When you feel ready, you'll do the other side. So the right leg now crossing over the left thigh. You've got a hole between your legs. Arms resting out to the side. Look for difference in this movement on either side. So when you feel ready, can you move your knee, your right knee forwards? So it's moving towards the front of the mat if you were laid on a mat. You should sense the right side of the waist lengthening and the left side shorten. Then can you bring the right knee back over towards the left shoulder? Now the left side of the waist should lengthen and the right side should shorten. How does it feel on this side? Is it easier? Is it harder? Can you find your glutes on the right side as the knee moves away? So can you contract across the back of the pelvis? Make sure that the right side of the low back is released into the floor. Your pelvis should be turning like a steering wheel here, so your tailbone should feel like it's wagging. Nice, slow, controlled movement. So you're always noticing which parts of your body are lengthening and which parts of your body are shortening. So some muscles contracting, some muscles lengthening, some joints closing, some joints opening. What can you feel? The next time that the knee comes back to that centre position, allow your legs to lengthen out. And just take a moment here. So we're going to finish on some wash rag. So your knees are bent, feet are on the floor, hip distance apart. Your right palm will be facing the floor, the left palm will be facing the ceiling. The thing to remember with this movement is you will always be looking at the palm that is facing the ceiling. Your knees will be on the side where the palm faces the floor. So when you feel ready, we're going to inhale, we're going to allow the knees to fall to the right and the head to turn to the left. Then we're going to exhale. As we exhale, you're going to use your tummy muscles to draw the knees back up to centre. Your head comes to centre. The inhale will allow the knees to fall to the left and your arms will rotate. So now the right palm is facing the ceiling. Your head is looking right. Left palm is on the floor and your knees have gone left. Exhaling, gently contracting the tummy muscles to bring the knees back up. Inhaling, allowing the head and the knees to fall in opposite directions. Make sure that your arms are rotating from your shoulder blades. So you're not just rolling the arms in their sockets. Your shoulder blades should feel like they're moving in different ways. So the left, the right shoulder blade will be doing completely different things. So just taking a moment at the end of each movement. Moment to notice where you can sense space. And a moment to notice where there's no space. So always what's lengthening, what's shortening, what's opening, what's closing. What can you feel? The next time that you come back to centre, allow the legs to lengthen out. So just take a moment here. Arms rested out to the side. Allow your breath to settle. Let go of all of the instruction. Let go of everything that we've just done. All that matters right now is what you can sense and what you can feel. So taking a moment once again to allow your awareness to move into your feet. Notice now what you can sense and feel in each foot. How has each foot arranged itself? And allowing your awareness to move on up through the legs as you take a moment to be curious about the distance between the back of each knee and the floor. The backs of your thighs and the floor. How each side of your pelvis now meets the floor. What you can sense and feel in the front of your pelvis. Have you got more space across the front of the pelvis? Have you created space in the hip joints? And then taking a moment to notice the distance between your low back and the floor, the distance between each side of your waist and the floor. Has anything changed? Is anything different here? Then allowing the awareness to move into your rib cage as you notice how your rib cage meets the earth, left, right, top, middle and bottom. Now, what can you sense and feel in your shoulder blades? Taking a moment to notice the length and the weight of each arm into the earth. And then the distance between the top of your shoulders and the floor. And gently sensing into each side of your neck, noticing the curve in the back of your neck and the weight of your head into the earth. If you wish, you can stay here a little longer, just allowing awareness to fill the whole of your body. But if that's it for you, then it's time to get up, move away, and move into the rest of your day with awareness.